Protesters across the country have been showing up to Tesla dealerships and showrooms, unhappy with Elon Musk and the government cuts made through the Department of Government Efficiency.
It started with a hush, not a roar. Spotlights cutting through the dark, cameras poised for the predictable. Everyone knew Tesla ruled the electric arena, its throne unshakable. Then a single flicker, Kia's emblem, unassuming yet magnetic. The room exhaled. Seconds later, Project Horizon drove into view. Sleek, silent, and alive. Kia's CEO spoke over the roar of surprised gasps. This advanced platform would cost nearly 40% less than Tesla's best, ready to roll straight off the line. A live charging demo began, and in under 60 seconds, the battery sprinted from empty to 80%. No smoke, no mirrors, just raw engineering marvel. Elon Musk's late entrance couldn't hide his shock. His gaze sharpened as reporters lunged forward, cameras whirring like bloodhounds on the scent. In that moment, the question wasn't if Kia threatened Tesla. It was whether this was the day the EV world was reborn. When the underdog met the icon, Kia was never supposed to be a global power player. Founded in the shadows of more glamorous brands, its early models were cheap, utilitarian, and forgettable. Critics called them disposable. Yet somewhere in the early 2010s, something started shifting. While the media followed Tesla's every move, Kia was quietly rebuilding, hiring engineers from Germany, poaching software talent from China, and forming deep partnerships in battery chemistry research with university-backed labs. What came out was not a brand obsessed with flash, but one obsessed with function. Every design was pared down to what mattered most. It assembled its foundation, not around hype, but durability. Its reputation grew in whispers, not viral tweets. Its vehicles didn't dazzle at first glance, but they delivered on every promise. And that was exactly the point. While Elon was chasing Mars, Kia was mastering Earth. While Tesla's production lines stumbled through software glitches and labor complaints, Kia's operations ran like clockwork. It wasn't about catching Tesla's headlines. It was about outmaneuvering Tesla's economics, which made what happened next feel less like a coincidence and more like a perfectly timed strike. The revelation that changed the game. When Kia rolled out its new vehicle platform, it wasn't just unveiling a car, it was detonating a business model. The surprise wasn't how fast it went or how sleek it looked. It was the claim that Kia could produce electric vehicles at a price nearly equal to compact efficiency, price control, performance under stress. Kia didn't scream innovation. It executed it in silence. Its factories were retooled for vertical integration. Its supply chains were hardened against global volatility. So when Elon Musk took the stage years later to declare Tesla's mission to be the sole future of clean energy, Kia wasn't arguing. It was waiting, patiently, quietly, equal to compact combustion cars, with none of the range anxiety. At the center of this leap was a new type of battery. Not a solid-state cell, not a standard lithium-ion pack, but a proprietary blend that balanced capacity, durability, and cost without relying on volatile cobalt or nickel markets. Even more important, the vehicle's modular underbody could be built in under 2 hours using robotic line segments that required fewer human interventions than Tesla's Gigafactory setup, where Tesla promised, Kia delivered. While Tesla's batteries degraded by 15 to 20% over a decade, Kia's new cell maintained above 92% capacity after 1,000 cycles. The numbers didn't lie. The shock wasn't in the product, it was in the precision. Kia had not only matched Tesla's most important metrics, it had done so while shaving 15% off total cost per unit. Elon's irritation on stage wasn't confusion. It was realization. He knew what this meant. Kia had just rendered Tesla's cost advantage obsolete, not in theory, in front of live cameras. Elon's public meltdown. Witnesses say the shift in Musk's demeanor was instant. He went from postured detachment to mic-gripping defensiveness in seconds. In response to a press question about whether Tesla planned to license Kia's new platform, Elon smirked, paused too long, then replied with a derisive, "We build real cars," the audience murmured. Then came the wave. A Kia engineer stepped forward with printed test results from an independent lab in Germany, verifying their cost and durability claims. The crowd leaned in. Musk rolled his eyes. One journalist asked what Musk thought of Kia's new charge system. He snapped, "It's a marketing gimmick. Let's see it scale." His voice was rising. The video went viral within hours. Elon Musk, tech messiah, billionaire disruptor, had cracked. Publicly, his fans on social media scrambled to defend him, while Kia's press team stayed silent. No spin, no PR war. Just the replayed footage of Musk losing his temper as a mid-sized Korean brand erased Tesla's narrative advantage in real time. We sifted through test labs, battery patents, and factory teardown reports to confirm Kia's claims weren't hype. Now you know how they crushed Tesla's cost advantage, on stage, in real time, without saying a word. If that saved you from hours of digging, hit subscribe. We'll keep exposing the next big shift before it hits headlines. This wasn't about a single vehicle anymore. This was about the soul of the electric revolution. Elon Musk had always controlled the story, but now the whole world is wondering, what would he do next? Dissecting the showdown. Behind the curtain of that electric showdown was a level of preparation most companies could only dream of. This was not a public relations stunt gone right. It was a calculated disruption aimed squarely at the heart of Tesla's brand mythology. While the public was still buzzing over Elon Musk's meltdown, analysts were already unpacking Kia's true intent. Internal leaks suggested this was no spontaneous reveal. The engineering demo, the lab tests, even the press who asked those cutting questions. All part of a longer game. Kia's executive board had spent the last 3 quarters quietly restructuring its internal research and development funnel to prepare for a single objective: undercut Tesla's market position without ever saying Tesla's name. What they achieved on stage was just the surface. The deeper truth was even more staggering. Production numbers across Kia's 2 new electric facilities, one in West Point, Georgia, the other in Slovakia, were showing a cost per vehicle reduction of 21% over projections. These figures did not come from economies of scale. They came from redesigning the vehicle architecture itself, using proprietary semi-solid-state battery cell technology that sidestepped most of the lithium volatility Tesla had baked into its supply chain. These battery packs required fewer rare earth metals, charged faster, and degraded at half the rate, meaning Kia was not only building cheaper cars but more durable ones too. This was not mimicry. It was a new playbook. While Elon Musk was fending off questions about vaporware roadsters and missed deadlines, Kia was shipping product with flawless execution and drawing blood in the process. Profit margins versus mass production. At the core of this silent war was a single brutal metric: profit per unit. Tesla's entire business model relied on selling fewer cars with larger margins. Every Model Y and Model 3 came with built-in buffer, advanced driver features, charging subscriptions, and software toggles that added hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to the base cost. It worked for a while. Investors praised the lean strategy. Media outlets parroted the narrative. Consumers played along. Then Kia came in swinging. Their latest electric crossover was retailing at 15% below the Tesla equivalent. Without the upsell, no subscription was required for basic functions. No locked features hidden behind a paywall. More importantly, no compromises in range, acceleration, or interior quality. Tesla's production costs hovered around $36,000 per vehicle. Kia's new platform had slashed theirs down to just under $29,000. And they were doing it at volume. Vehicles were rolling out on time, with fewer defects, and at scale. Tesla had volume. Kia had precision. And in this business, precision wins. The impact was immediate. Investment houses began quietly downgrading Tesla's margin forecasts, citing cost erosion pressure from East Asian competitors. Kia's stock, meanwhile, jumped nearly 4% in 2 trading days. An unheard-of spike for a company long considered dependable, not explosive. Analysts at Morgan Stanley, Barclays, and Mitsubishi UFJ all issued revised outlooks. Suddenly, Tesla's profitability was no longer sacrosanct. The silent alarm had gone off in boardrooms around the world. Tesla was not invincible. Not anymore. Strategy or sabotage? The question no one could answer was whether Kia had planned this public dismantling of Tesla's narrative from the beginning. Was it a tactical response to Elon's rising unpredictability? Or had they simply spotted a moment of structural weakness and struck with surgical precision? Insiders at Hyundai Kia's top division suggested the latter. A recently uncovered internal presentation titled Electrification Realignment: Opportunity Windows detailed competitor vulnerabilities in plain language. Tesla was cited by name, highlighted for delivery delays, inconsistent pricing, reliance on volatile materials, and a soft underbelly of investor hype, unsupported by long-term fundamentals. Kia had chosen not to compete on hype. They competed on logistics. Their procurement models prioritized stable resource acquisition over headline-grabbing partnerships. Their vehicles used materials less reliant on Chinese-controlled extraction bottlenecks. Even their battery management systems were sourced from in-house Korean facilities, rather than subcontracted firms known for breakdowns and recalls. This wasn't sabotage. It was systemic superiority. Kia had been counting cards, and now they were calling. Counterstrike from California. Once the dust settled, Tesla didn't retreat. It retaliated. Within 48 hours, emergency price cuts hit the Model Y and Model 3. 6 to 8% across most markets. It was Tesla's fastest pricing move ever, and a clear sign of panic. Elon Musk fired off cryptic tweets about soulless innovation and electric shells. But this time, it didn't feel strategic. It felt desperate. Inside Tesla, priorities shifted fast. Engineers were reassigned, supplier deals renegotiated, and a quiet hiring freeze began. Layoff rumors followed. Kia didn't respond. No press tour, no victory lap. Just massive production increases quietly approved in Georgia, up 70% over 2 quarters. Tesla was sprinting. Kia was calculating. And in a market tired of hype, precision was starting to win. Now the question wasn't who had the flashiest car. It was who understood the moment better. The battery bombshell. The real detonation didn't come from pricing or branding. It came from chemistry. Kia's engineers, working out of a fortified research facility in South Korea, had quietly crossed a threshold no automaker, not even Tesla, had managed. Solid-state batteries. Real ones. Not prototypes, not lab samples. Scalable, tested, production-ready energy cells with performance metrics that read more like science fiction than automotive reality. These new cells charged from 10 to 80% in under 12 minutes. They lasted twice as long as lithium-ion equivalents before degradation even began. They ran cooler, required no cobalt, and could be manufactured at scale using existing production lines with minor retooling. Elon Musk had once called solid-state decades away. Kia had made them a headline. What stunned analysts wasn't just that Kia achieved the breakthrough. It was how silently they had done it. No media blitz, no teaser video, no keynote address. Instead, they invited select journalists, analysts, and skeptical engineers to a private demonstration with full transparency. Teardowns were permitted. Independent labs were invited. When the final numbers came out, even Tesla loyalists admitted this was the real deal. Tesla's most vulnerable point. In hindsight, the battery was always Tesla's Achilles heel. While Elon Musk had built a global image as a disruptor, the dirty secret inside the gigafactories was just how conventional their battery strategy had become. Tesla had tied itself to lithium-ion at industrial scale, locking into cost structures and material dependencies that now looked like traps. By contrast, Kia's battery division had diversified early. Rather than scale a single tech, they split development across 3 parallel pathways: semi-solid state for mid-range cars, lithium-sulfur for high-efficiency segments, and full solid state for long-term domination. The semi-solid packs were already shipping. The solid-state prototypes were finished. Only the sulfur cells remained in late-stage testing, and insiders claimed they were already hitting promising energy density targets. Tesla's battery packs were now the heaviest in their segment. Their chemistry required rare earth metals increasingly throttled by geopolitical constraints. Their recycling pipeline was still fragmented, with several unresolved partnerships across North America. Kia, meanwhile, had launched its first vertically integrated battery recycling pilot in Seoul, using 100% post-consumer materials to produce high-efficiency battery cores. This wasn't just a technical blow. It was a branding crisis. Tesla had marketed itself as the future. Kia had quietly become the future. The meltdown behind closed doors. While Tesla's social media channels kept up appearances, inside the company, the atmosphere was anything but composed. A leaked internal memo from a senior engineer at Tesla Energy described the mood in the Gigafactory Nevada campus as Code Orange. Meetings were being rescheduled every 3 hours. Engineering teams were pulled from solar roof development to assist in emergency solid-state research acceleration. One insider described Elon Musk as more agitated than we've seen since the Model X Falcon door delays. Another reported that morale had cratered across the supply chain division, with staff fearing sweeping layoffs to counterbalance a pending earnings hit. The problem was not just technical, it was narrative. Tesla had spent over a decade crafting a mythology: electric speed, clean future, untouchable margins. Musk himself had been the high priest of that gospel. Now, in a matter of weeks, a company long dismissed as budget tier had challenged that gospel at its core. And worse, it had done so without theatrics. At Tesla headquarters, a panicked media directive was circulated. No public comments on Kia's technology, no engagement on social media, and no mention of the battery specs in upcoming product reveals. Behind the scenes, emergency calls were made to Panasonic, CATL, and even Redwood Materials, seeking any accelerated pathways to competitive chemistry. No viable alternative was immediately available. South Korea's silent revenge. This wasn't just a win for Kia, it was a geopolitical masterstroke for South Korea. The country had watched for over a decade as Elon Musk siphoned off talent, investment, and headlines. Now, through Kia's technical leap, South Korea was reclaiming the stage, not with slogans, but with data. Seoul's Ministry of Trade quietly released a statement praising domestic electric innovation. And almost immediately, a half-dozen international tech publications began highlighting Hyundai Kia's supremacy in powertrain design. Japanese and German automakers, once the benchmark for engineering precision, had suddenly become spectators. American firms were scrambling. And inside China, BYD analysts were now factoring Kia into risk forecasts, something previously reserved only for Tesla. The truth was inescapable. Kia had made a move that realigned the global auto chessboard. No drama, no announcement, just numbers. More surprising still was how unified their strategy had been. From boardroom to battery lab, every department seemed to have understood the mission. No leaks, no infighting, no vanity, just execution. Tesla's internal chaos was starting to look like a liability. Meanwhile, Kia was transforming its underdog status into something far more dangerous: quiet dominance, the collapse of the illusion. Elon Musk's empire was built on vision, an ambitious electric utopia that disrupted not just transportation but the entire notion of progress. That vision had once galvanized investors, inspired engineers, and terrified competitors. Yet in a matter of weeks, the illusion began to fracture. Tesla's mystique was no longer untouchable. As competitors emerged with stronger batteries, smoother production, and quieter confidence, a new reality took hold. Public perception started to shift. Consumer forums, once dominated by Tesla loyalists, now hosted frustrated posts about long repair delays, bug-ridden software updates, and resale values plummeting after surprise price cuts. Influencers who once hyped Tesla's updates began drifting toward newer, more refined alternatives. The media, sensing a mood change, shifted their tone from celebration to skepticism. Headlines no longer asked what Tesla would do next. They asked if Tesla could keep up. What shook the foundation was not a single failure. It was the pattern. Every time a new promise was made, from robotaxis to roadsters, it missed. Meanwhile, Kia made no promises. They just delivered. The public showdown. What happened next wasn't leaked. It was orchestrated. At a widely televised global tech summit in Munich, Kia's global chairman walked on stage holding a single prop: a translucent case containing a solid-state battery the size of a paperback novel. The audience, already buzzing from previous rumors, sat in silence. No slides, no specs, just one sentence: "This is our future, and it's already in testing." The silence broke into applause. Then headlines. Reporters immediately pressed for details. Could this replace the lithium cells used in the EV6 and EV9? Would it be licensed to other automakers? How many test cycles had it passed? Within the hour, Kia released a full technical report, independently verified by third-party analysts. Every number confirmed the rumors: faster charge time, longer cycle life, safer composition, and a production readiness window well within the next 18 months. Tesla, caught off guard, issued no immediate response. Behind closed doors, emergency board meetings were called. Meanwhile, Elon Musk tweeted a vague message about gimmicks that won't scale. But it failed to land. The narrative had already changed. What mattered now wasn't what Tesla promised. It was what Kia proved. The investor rebellion. Wall Street never falls in love. It only bets on momentum. And momentum was slipping from Tesla's grip. For over a decade, Tesla had been the market's golden child. A gravity-defying stock that seemed to move purely on hype and hope. But toward the end of the most recent quarter, the mood turned cold. Tesla's stock wasn't just slipping. It was being systematically reevaluated. Analysts who once gushed about its unlimited upside were now pointing to an uncomfortable truth. The company was strategically overexposed. Too much money tied up in lithium-ion. Too many gigafactories located in geopolitically sensitive areas. Too few answers about scalability, redundancy, and second-phase manufacturing. And worst of all, shrinking margins. Tesla had started a price war it couldn't afford to lose. Slashing prices on the Model 3 and Model Y may have juiced short-term volume, but it came at the cost of long-term investor confidence. The margins, once Tesla's strongest bragging right, were now getting crushed under the weight of global competition. And the competition wasn't coming from where people expected. It wasn't just Germany. It wasn't just Detroit. It was Seoul. Kia, once dismissed as a budget automaker, had become something far more threatening. A stable, diversified, globally aligned player with a future-proof product pipeline. While Tesla doubled down on a single narrative, full electrification at any cost, Kia spread its bets with surgical discipline. Internal combustion for legacy markets, hybrids for the hesitant, hydrogen fuel cells for the infrastructure ready, and now a solid-state electric platform with the potential to crush lithium-ion dependence entirely. What used to be a punchline was suddenly a hedge. And institutional investors noticed. Mutual funds that once treated Tesla like a cornerstone position began shifting their capital. They weren't dumping Tesla because of crashing sales or bad products. They were rotating out of risk and into strategy. Tesla was bold, erratic, and unpredictable. Kia, on the other hand, was becoming the quiet giant in the room. Efficient, understated, and deeply prepared. In the conference calls that followed, Tesla executives were met with questions they hadn't had to face in years. What happens to Tesla's battery roadmap if solid-state hits commercial viability before their next generation of lithium cells scales? How do you justify vertical integration when Kia is matching your cells cell for cell with better procurement leverage and lower cost of goods? What happens when Elon's attention is split between electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, orbital launches, tunnel startups, and social media chaos? Are investors still buying into a company or just into a personality? There were no clean answers. The cultural pivot. Tesla's biggest asset was never just the car. It was the feeling, the tribe, the belief system. For years, Tesla wasn't just an automaker. It was a movement. Elon Musk didn't sell sedans or crossovers. He sold revolution. Early adopters saw themselves not as buyers, but as apostles. Buying a Tesla was a statement, a rejection of the status quo, a membership badge for the future. That cultural capital insulated the company from criticism and missteps. Bugs? Part of the innovation process. Delays? A sign of ambition. Even when cars shipped with panel gaps or unfinished software, owners defended the brand with religious zeal. No other automaker enjoyed that kind of grace. Not even close. But something began to change. The mood, once euphoric, began souring around the edges. Updates arrived late. Full self-driving remained a promise on the horizon, and every price cut felt less like generosity and more like desperation. Tesla's mythos was fraying, and Kia didn't try to replace it with something louder. They replaced it with something smarter: trust. Instead of cult branding, Kia went practical. Their ads didn't promise disruption. They promised clarity. Where Tesla leaned into performance stats and autonomous software, Kia leaned into simplicity, clean design, and dependability. Their tagline boiled down to a single subversive question: what if electric cars just worked? The strategy worked too well to ignore. While Tesla fans debated software glitches and missed milestones, Kia's electric models quietly racked up awards for safety, for range consistency, for interior quality. Reviewers who once fixated on Elon's Twitter feed now praised Kia's craftsmanship, thermal management systems, and intuitive UX design. Tesla was still loud. Kia was just solid. The cultural tide had turned when former evangelists started speaking out. Forums filled with long-term Tesla owners complaining about customer service, quality slips, or sudden resale value collapses after unexpected price drops. The once unshakable loyalty was eroding, not because of one mistake, but because people felt abandoned. Kia didn't need to steal Tesla's tribe. The tribe was walking away on its own. The silent empire rises. Kia never made noise. They made progress. While Tesla grabbed headlines and staged bombastic unveilings, Kia was quietly building something far more threatening: an empire of execution. 60 electric-only dealerships opened across 3 continents. Localized plants cut tariffs and delays. Regional software hubs ensured smoother updates than Tesla's bottlenecked systems. Solar-to-vehicle grid trials were already live. Bidirectional charging turned Kia EVs into backup power sources. No PR fanfare, just real-world innovation. And when Tesla finally rolled out another delayed software patch, Kia was already stabilizing entire energy networks. Then came the breaking point. At Davos, a journalist asked Elon Musk, "Do you still believe Tesla leads the EV race?" His nervous chuckle landed flat. "Of course we do," he muttered. Silence followed. No applause, no belief. The future had changed hands. Tesla had become the past tense of a race it no longer controlled. And Kia? They weren't catching up. They had already passed. So what do you think? Has Tesla truly been dethroned? Or is there still time for a comeback? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks.